So in this video, we look at 5 different puzzles, all involving the tactic removing the defender. With removing the defender, sometimes you're capturing the defender of another piece, or you might chase that defender away. So capturing or chasing the defender away. We have 5 puzzles. They are intermediate, or beginner to intermediate, 300 to 1200. Yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So black to play and remove the defender. So removing the defender is sometimes you're just chasing away. So say there's something that you can capture, you might chase away the defender of that piece, or you might capture the defender of that piece, which is the case here. In this case, you're removing the defender of something you can also capture. But yeah, there is a piece that we could almost capture here, except for it's defended. So if we capture its defender first, then we can take the piece. Let's hear from Fuwa. Go ahead, Fuwa.
How about 3, 2, E2?
You say queen to e2? Well, I mean, they would just capture you with their queen. And you could capture back with your rook, I suppose, but you're going to be losing a rook and a queen for a knight and a queen. So, you're getting 12 points of material. A knight and a queen is 12 points. A rook and a queen is 14. So you're giving up 14 for 12. That doesn't seem like that's going to be advantageous in any way. Thinking something else here. Let's hear from David. Go ahead, David.
Rook to E2.
I was thinking about that. Rook takes e2. If you play that, they've got to play queen takes, and then what would you play?
Queen takes G1.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's white to play, and we're trying to do this tactic, removing the defender. Okay. So this one's kind of like deflection. Of course, we're always supposed to consider checks, captures, loose pieces. I'll put that on screen here. Just a semi-loose piece is a piece that has the same number of attackers and defenders. In this case, we're going to win a fantastic semi-loose piece. There's a very juicy semi-loose piece here, one that we would love to have. And there's a way that we can use deflection. We can deflect the defender of this very nice semi-loose piece away. Does anybody know who the semi-loose piece I might be talking about is? Fuwa, go ahead.
Rook to D5.
Rook to D5. I don't know. I think they're probably just going to play queen takes queen. And then I guess you could play rook takes queen. But I don't see that's not what we're looking for here. So we're looking for a semi-loose piece. Let's think about a semi-loose piece. So a semi-loose piece is a piece that is attacked and defended the same number of times. There is a wonderful, for us, semi-loose piece in this position. So the queen. So we're attacking their queen. They only have one defender. So if you have the same number of attackers and defenders, that's what a semi-loose piece is. Yeah, we've got a semi-loose queen. They've got a semi-loose queen. And you should always think about semi-loose pieces. And in this case, we can deflect the defender of the queen away. So we're gonna play a move that forces the king, the black king, to move away from the defense of his queen. How can we force the king to move away from the defense of his queen? Of course, always we're supposed to consider checking moves above all else. That's what you start with. You always got to be considering every possible check. For example, you wouldn't want their to be some sort of checking move against yourself. In this case, there are a couple of checking moves the knight can play, but they're, well, that one's ridiculous because the rook can capture. This one over here is ridiculous because the pawn can capture. But you got to consider those things. What are you seeing, David?
I see the check.
Okay,
Move.
what checking move do you see?
Rook. G6 rook to G8.
Okay, yeah. If you play rook g8 check, they have to capture you, right? That's the only
Yeah.
choice. And then what would you play?
And then queen takes queen.
Exactly. Almost sound like a question, but yes, definitely. You sacrifice the rook, a 5-point piece, and you grab the queen, a 9-point piece. Definitely to an advantage for white. Although this game is not necessarily won or anything. It looks like it's, still going to be a very interesting game. For example, I'm seeing semi-loose pieces for sure. Their bishop is semi-loose. Our bishop attacks, the queen, the only defender, so that's a semi-loose piece. That's interesting. It's always interesting. It may be involved in tactics. So these three things, checks, captures, loose pieces, they are what generates all tactics. If there are no checking moves, there are no capturing moves, and there's no loose pieces on the board, well then there are no tactics. So we just use these three things. We think about these three things in order to try to uncover tactics. Let's hear from David. Go ahead, David.
Queen to D5.
Queen to D5. I don't think so. They would probably just play bishop captures bishop.
And then pawn takes
Yeah.
bishop.
Pawn takes bishop, but I don't see how that's to our advantage. We lose. We're trading bishops, right? But what I don't like is that we then have this isolated pawn sitting here on D3. Isolated. He has no friends. There's no C pawn to hang out with. There's no E pawn to hang out with. Isolated pawns are weaknesses. You can defend isolated pawns with your pieces, with your knights, bishops, rooks, and whatnot, but they don't want to babysit. Rooks don't want to babysit. Bishops don't want to babysit pawns. They want to attack kings. And so, having a isolated pawn on the D file is a liability. It's a weakness. Let's hear from Fuwa.
Attacking move.
Okay, what do you got?
My attacking move is queen captures F7.
I mean, this is a move that we should consider, and I applaud you for thinking about it, even though it's absolutely disastrous, obviously. They could capture with the rook, they could capture with the king, they could capture with the queen. It's not forcing them to do anything, so... No, we're just losing a 9-point queen for a 1-point pawn, so this is not the solution we're looking for. So I think it has to do with this bishop here. The queen is the only defender, so if we could come up with some sort of way to chase the queen away, then we could take the bishop for free. And, threatening queens is a lot of times a good way to go. If there's no good checking moves, there's no captures, there's no loose pieces out there, then going for a threat against a queen can often be the best way to go. It's the most threatening thing you can do. Anything more threatening than a queen attack would be called a check, and therefore not a threat. Let's hear from, I think, David this time. Go ahead, David.
Knight to D5.
Knight to D5, I think, is the correct move here. So you attack the queen. You're attacking the queen, and she's got to defend her buddy, the bishop, here. But so maybe she moves here. What would you do if she did that?
Bishop takes bishop.
Okay. Bishop takes bishop. That's fine. And then if queen takes bishop.
Um. And and then and knight to e7.
Yeah, man. Very good. Very good. Great vision there. Yeah, so they did not opt to go here actually because, so if we back up, can I go back a move? Why won't it let me go back a move? If they would have moved their queen here, you actually could play knight here, checking the king, attacking the queen right away. So instead, they go here, and we're able to capture the bishop for free there. Moving the defender is our tactic. It is black to play. Aha. So in this position, white has an overworked piece. So an overworked piece is a piece that is expected to guard against multiple immediate threats at the same time. So multiple just means more than one. In this case, it is just two. But one of white's pieces is guarding against two different capturing moves. Black can capture a couple of different pieces, and as it turns out, white is using the same piece to defend against two different captures, two different semi-loose pieces. So again, a semi-loose piece is a piece that is attacked and defended by the same number of pieces. In this case, it's 1 and 1, but it could be 2 and 2. 2 attackers, 2 defenders, 3 attackers, 3 defenders. But in this case, there are two semi-loose pieces for white. We're attacking them, and it turns out white is using the same defender to defend them both. So you can capture one of these pieces and deflect the defender away and get the other piece for free. So the queen is overworked. White's queen is overworked. It's guarding the bishop, which is a semi-loose piece. It's under attack. And it's also guarding the rook, which actually isn't a semi-loose piece because technically it has two defenders. But, yeah, the bishop is a semi-loose piece. And the queen is the only defender. The queen is also the direct defender of the rook here. And so she's overworked. White is asking her to do too much. This is a flaw in white's position, and we can crush them for it by removing the defender. How do we do it? David. Go ahead, David.
Okay. Bishop to c2.
That doesn't work. Yeah, if you play bishop takes c2, they're just going to capture you.
And then,
Bishop takes c2, queen takes c2. So that's the thing, is you want to be kind of careful about the way that you think about this. You know, you need to think about it thoroughly. And it's hard. It's hard because you have to see the position as it would be after the moves are played. That is by no means an easy thing to do, but it certainly can be done. So yeah, if you play bishop takes, queen takes, the rooks are defending each other. So it doesn't quite work that way. But you want to consider all checks, all captures. Try to imagine playing all the checks and all the captures in your head and think about what your opponent can do in response. What checks and captures will they play after you play the checks and captures that you're considering? Yeah, go ahead again, David.
Rook takes rook.
Okay. So it sounds like a question here. If rook takes rook, I mean, they pretty much have to capture you, right? And then what would you play?
Bishop takes bishop.
Exactly. So in this case, you get a free bishop. They pretty much have to capture you because otherwise, yeah, you're going to capture their other rook. Like if they move their queen out of the way, then you get a second rook for there, and you go up a full rook instead of just up a full bishop. But yeah, very good, very good. It is black to play and try to remove the defender here. Yeah, so in this case, what I see is a pretty sweet fork. There's a pretty sweet fork, but white has a defender that's preventing us from playing the fork. Well, if we could just chase the defender away, then we can play a fork that actually wins the exchange, is what they would say in chess jargon. So there is a way to chase the defender of this fork away, and then you're able to win the exchange, which means you're trading a minor piece, like a bishop or a knight. We consider bishops and knights minor pieces, for a rook. So there's a way to win a rook here, and even a pawn. I think you go up a rook and a pawn by chasing the defender away. James Webb Space Telescope. That's what this is. It's the mirror on the James Webb. I don't know if you notice, I've got the International Space Station here. It's a Lego set. $864 Legos. Space shuttle sitting on it. Oh, I just knocked off one of the modules. Yeah, that's the ISS. I knocked one of the cargo capsules off. It's like a cargo delivery pod. And of course the space shuttle. Space shuttle was not that big compared to the ISS. The space shuttle was more like this big compared to the ISS. So, space shuttle going to dock the International Space Station. Okay. So we'd like to play knight captures here, but we can't. The queen is defending, so we're not going to do that just yet. We need to get rid of the queen. We need to get her so that she can't defend that square somehow. Let's hear from Fua. Go ahead, Fua.
Queen to h5.
You say queen to h5?
H5.
Queen to h4. No. They would just play like pawn here probably. That doesn't help. So we want to chase the queen away here. Let's hear from David. Go ahead.
C7 pawn to C5.
Pawn to c5, and what is white going to do about that? I mean, they've got to move their queen. They can't move her here. The knight would just take. So I'm not sure where they're going to go. So if we play this, it's like there's no weaknesses in black's position really. Other than that, yeah, there's just no weaknesses, and there's no way to defend this pawn. So they're just going to move their queen somewhere. I don't know where. There's no great spot. And now what do you play?
Knight to f2.
Knight captures f2. Yeah, so winning a pawn, and then you're also going to win the exchange, as I say. Trading a knight for a rook would be winning the exchange. All right. Yeah, very good. All right, we should go ahead and call it. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for checking out these puzzles with me. I hope you will subscribe and join us for more videos. I will be posting several videos every week, so stay tuned for that. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.